Hello, this is Real History. I am Melissa, and today is the 22nd day of January, 2026, and I am joined today by a lovely family that I've been getting to know. And we have Don and his wife, Blue, and their daughter has is 13, and she has chosen her stage name for talking to you, and that is Devin. So, hey, Devin,
Hi,
how are you?
good.
Good. Okay.
How about
That
you? How are you? Did you have a good day today?
I had a good day. I have to tell you something too. I went to the post office and I got a letter from you. So
Yeah.
I hadn't gotten the when you asked me the other day if I had gotten a letter, I was thinking about the postcard that you sent me at Christmas. And I said, "Yes, I got it and it's on my pile and I've been meaning to write you." But the letter that you were talking about when we talked, I just got it today. So
Uh,
anyway, it was very nice. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I have to say that when you called me Sensei Melissa, I was so touched. And it's such an honor. So there was some discussion as to what my title would be. And you said Sensei, which is, I don't know, you can tell us if you want to what that means and why you came up with that for me.
to me, anyone who I have respect for, such as you, and is wise, I think of them as sensei. I think of her as sensei, and you.
Okay.
And what does sensei mean? Like usually mean.
Master
It
and
means
teacher.
teacher. It means teacher. Japanese
Okay.
for teacher.
And is your father Sensei?
No.
Okay.
He's just
Um,
data, right? He's just
Yeah.
data.
Okay, so Dawn, I've got a question
Yes.
for you. How is it? I just was thinking about this afternoon. What's it like for you living with a strong woman and a strong young woman?
Hmm. It feels sane because so much of the rest of the world is not really right in the head. So it's wonderful to come home and know that there's two sane people at home that aren't going crazy like a lot of the world is.
Oh,
Uh,
that's nice. That's a I like that answer. I like that. So I wanted to, okay, so we're recording this a little bit later in the evening, and that's because you have a job that takes you out for a long day and you get home a little bit late at night. And if we'll just start there with what do you do? If you want to talk, you don't have to give specifics or company names or anything, but if you want to just talk about what a typical day is like for you.
I work for one of the major package delivery companies in this country. It's up in the Rocky Mountains here in Idaho. I drive down into the flatlands, pick up my packages, and I drive back to the mountains. I start out at about 3,500 feet elevation. I have a four-wheel drive truck. There's a lot of people hidden in the nooks and crannies of the mountains here, and with four-wheel drive and chains, I get to all of them and help them not have to leave the mountains and go down into the valley to be flatlanders. Um,
That's what you call them, huh?
that's what everyone in the mountains calls them. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So how long have
Um,
you lived
yeah,
there?
I go to about 7,000 feet elevation at
Oh,
the top of
wow.
the mountain. So
Wow.
I do about 150 miles a day up in the mountains.
Are you accustomed and acclimated to, because you haven't been in the mountains a long, long time, but you're used to it now?
5 years now. We used to
Okay.
live at practically sea level
Okay.
on the East Coast.
Okay.
Uh, until you get above 10,000 feet, there really isn't much acclimation other than maybe get out of breath easier when we first got here, but we're completely acclimated now.
We had this slight euphoria going through Nevada. We were at
Really?
10,000 feet. And then there was
Ooh.
this is great. Like you get a little, when you haven't had that kind of elevation, you can either get out of breath, very tired, or you get euphoria. So we did experience that going through Nevada. No, not Nevada. Yeah, Nevada.
And then
Yeah.
high Nevada.
Yeah, but
When
not
we
S-
here.
Yeah.
Here's too low.
when we first moved here, I had to have a city route and deliver to all those people down there. It was much more packages. It was in a full size package truck, and I would furnish entire people's homes with the furniture sometimes when they'd just moved in. Um, it was tough and practically running 100 feet to a door with a big box of dog food and running back, sprinting back because you're paid by the day, not the hour. Um,
Right. And
and
you've got to deliver all those packages too. I mean, they all need to get out that day.
yeah, and you get a real intimate view of what the people are like on your route. Um, you get to see the insanity that's going on and just how things are changing. And there's 4 to 10 cars in every driveway because nobody's buying homes anymore, so they all just moved back home.
Wow.
Everyone has it relatively expensive cars that they're most likely making payments on, and they do the minimal amount of work just to upkeep their clothing and their cars. And it's a whole bunch of individuals all living in a house, whether they're related or not. They just don't seem very close typically.
Well, hopefully Trump will make that 50-year mortgage possible.
Yeah.
More people can have a home.
Up in the
Uh,
mountains, it's much different. It's very utilitarian. Most of what I'm delivering,
mhm.
I feel good about bringing it to them because they need it very much, whether it's
That's
food
good.
or wood stove supplies.
That's good. Okay,
Lots of
so
dog food.
lots of dog food. Everybody's got dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so Blue, do you want to tell us how many animals are in your house or on your property? Can we share that?
Sure, far too many. Uh, we got the bunnies. I would say 15-ish.
Yeah,
Okay. They come and go. And then there's chickens, 64-ish. Okay.
somewhere around there.
And I have 11 chicks in the living room right now.
I counted the animals last May, but we've gotten more since then, so I've lost count.
What was the count then?
I think like 193.
Wow.
That's why I'm so tired. It's a lot of work to make everybody healthy, everybody clean, everybody happy. That's when
Okay.
I say I'm doing chores. Now you know what I'm doing.
All right. So we're going to back up just a tiny little bit here to the very beginning. And I'm going to ask you just a couple of questions about, but what I want to say is that what I've learned from Blue is that she is talented, and she was very talented when she was young, and she was noticed when she was young. So she was on the East Coast of the US, that's New Jersey, New York, and they said, "You're an actress, you're a singer, you're a performer." And she was on that, she calls it the OTO track. So she had already been a professional actor and singer in her childhood and early teen years. And that's very interesting. And just decided at a certain point when everyone on Broadway was pushing you in a certain direction and singing your praises, that this wasn't for you. And you started learning veterinary skills and you became a vet tech. And if you want to just kind of take it from there and fill in a few blanks,
Actually, I went well into my 20s, mid 20s, mid
really.
to late 20s, and I had overlapped the two vocations at toward the end, but also toward in my 20s, I was moonlighting as the vet tech, and so it was working with animals and being out. I'm a hiker, I'm a nature person, so that just didn't jive with city life and with that business. But I was always into nature, always outside as a kid, but always singing. Uh, I think I was vetted at the age of 10
Wow.
and got taken into Juilliard and other places, rather not. But, different higher schools of knowledge for the business. And
Hmm.
so I started off young and always had the two passions in my life. And then so that in my 20s they overlapped, and the more I did the veterinary medicine, the more I wasn't enjoying being away in the cities. And so because it takes you over,
Hmm.
and you also do spend a lot of time not being yourself. Yeah, so the two worlds never really they didn't sync up, but I was able to compartmentalize and I was able to do all these different things. And then it really came down to two of my personal animals were very unwell and at the end of their lives, and it brought it all home. And I just didn't want to, I saw the direction I was going into and it wasn't real. And I
Uh-huh.
was never someone who enjoyed the fantasy of that were sold in
Right.
life. So I did it because I had a talent. So just because you could doesn't mean you should. It was
Right.
the motto that was in my head. And I think I don't, there's no should anymore. And I
Right.
shouldn't. And it was just a reality-based life versus a very contrived, controlled life that I was at a precipice, and I was able to choose. I had this moment and I said, I'm not doing it and I'm staying here and I'm going to pursue reality. I'm going to pursue an actual purpose instead of a business purpose
Right.
because it's not glamorous. And when you're in it and you're getting vetted for it, you're promised all these things and there's lots of lies, and you're also very regimented. If you're having a nice moment, too bad, you got to get up and you got to serve the beast.
Right.
And it wasn't easy. It wasn't something I'm like, gotten entrenched and gotten entrenched. And then I felt like before I get too more entrenched, I better sit back and make a decision. And people thought I was insane, and it was
Yeah.
hard to unravel, but I did it. And I was never regretted it, never looked back. I wouldn't be here with these guys right now if I didn't make that decision that in the that and it was right around 2000 when I made this decision. And
Well, it's too, we have said before that we're not, you don't want to share any, you don't want to do any name dropping or anything like that. And
right.
we don't need to. But I will share that you really were in a position there where your career could have taken off big time. Friends and people that you
Mhm.
were with, all, they got shows, they got movies, and some very big names were saying, you should do this, and I will help you, and I'm mentoring you. And so you didn't just decide I'm not going to do this, but you actually surprised these high level mentors who couldn't believe that you would say, "Oh, I'd rather take care of animals."
It got a little weird, honestly, and it had to be done tactfully. So there were different people when I was 11, so that's a different mentorship from a very high level Broadway singer. And then came the Hollywood film people, and then there was the schooling and the education around all that. And I did it with tact. I didn't burn bridges, but they don't want to hear from me now. Like I've
Yeah.
been cut from the cloth. One thing I will share is that they called people, us, civilians. So us actors were trained that we were something other.
Hmm.
We were no longer civilians. We got no privileges. We lived like civilians, but in our minds, they wanted us to think of ourselves as separate.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, what's up with that? And there's no explanation. Just so when you're with the civilians, they just use it in their language. So bell went off, another red flag. So I was collecting red flags as I was since I was a little kid, I was collecting the red flags. I don't like that. I don't like that. Ooh, I don't like how that looks. Or that said, I was very fortunate. I didn't meet with ugly scenarios during all that time.
It was like the entertainment industry's military club.
That's why
Hmm.
I call it the OTO. And I had
Well,
some incidences too.
the interesting thing about that, especially like the civilian, being called the civilian, is that you're in a kind of a world in which the idea that you're special because we're given stars, we're told to follow the stars. And what I've seen a lot of, I haven't had lots of friends that came up in that way, but what I've seen are the intergenerational. They're the daughter or the son of a famous star, or they're the granddaughter of a famous star. And in that way, they don't know any other world. They don't even have to be told that they're a civilian because they know that they're in a different world. And in other words, they're almost really, you could say, bred for it. But it is interesting to hear you recount the stories of being pulled out and then trained for it. And the language that's used, the things that you're taught is very interesting.
I'm wondering how many stories to tell. So there is something that happened uh when I was very young. I was with a performer backstage and was pushed out of the room when two black suits came in the room. Was told, be over there uh, somewhere, I'll come get you. They had a meeting, they left. I was introduced to them. Hello, hello. Just a first name. But I thought that was interesting. Another little red flag when I was young, very young,
Mhm.
that I was backstage at this big, big venue with the headliner, and two suits came to visit the headliner. They literally look like Men in Black,
Yeah.
but they were highly professional. That's what they look like, but that didn't exist back then, right? But
Hmm.
I was told out of the room, and then demeanor changed. Then, okay, come on back, and they left, and demeanor went back to the way it was.
Hmm.
And I thought, like, that just sat weird. I'm like, what was that? Lawyers, no discussion, none of your business. So I didn't ask. I learned not to ask questions. I
Hmm.
saw things and I did not ask questions. So that was
Interesting.
probably one of the first red flags I had. Like, there's something else going on
It's the
here.
most annoying thing when you ask a question and they say it's none of your business, you don't need to know. It's
Like,
annoying.
put you in your place.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I made one
I think
decision.
that's why I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't like being controlled. But you can control me. I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't like being controlled by anybody else other than you.
Well, thank you.
And if
Okay, I don't
anybody,
want to control
if
anybody.
if anybody else tells me what to do,
I want to
I
guide
get
you.
I get
I'll guide and support you. Control is not what I'm going for, but
I give you permit. You have permission to do anything with me,
my goodness,
literally.
I can't take that. Good, then how come it was so hard to get you to sit down right now and can make it on time? I didn't control that. No, you did good. You did good. This is
All right.
delightful.
Now, I want to just cut away a little bit. At this point in your life, where we've gone back to, you are now in the world of taking care of animals, but you've got some serious hobbies and things that you're interested in learning. And I would like to go to Dawn's family's store in New Jersey. So I'd like to find out a little bit about what you were doing in the store, how you came to work there, what your parents were into, how did they get into that? We're leading up to the big meeting. So,
I
I've been
was
this
16
meeting.
and I had an economic enslavement job at a grocery store being a cashier, and I absolutely hated it. And a man came through my line one day, and he had on the most odd hat. It had sequin elephants that were like antique sequins. Um, he had on a tie-dye shirt, and
Who
I asked
dresses
him where
like
he
that?
got the hat from, and he told me, I got it in Thailand. I import these and I sell them at flea markets, and I sell tie-dyes, and I go to Grateful Dead shows. And every day that I worked, this man would come through the express lane and get his food for the day, and I got to know him, and I started buying stuff out of his van that he would use to go to the flea markets to sell all of his wares, and I would resell the goods to my friends at school. And it got to the point where he wasn't even bringing money to the grocery store anymore because he knew that I would be there to buy more stuff from him because it was selling well. So eventually he asked me to help out at some of the markets and the town day celebrations. And eventually we migrated out of flea markets and got a store. And I had saved up enough money by that time so I could go to Thailand, Nepal, and India and all over Asia. And we would buy odd things, antiques, old Damascus daggers with stone handles, just whatever, Tibetan jewelry. Um, it was a really cool store. Um, it wasn't my actual family's store,
okay,
but
I had
I,
it in my head that it was that your mom and dad had started it, but it was you and this friend who was already
yeah,
into it. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So
Um,
you d did both. You kept the store and traveled and bought for it.
yeah, because
Neat.
you made all your money from spring to till Christmas, and then the whole winter we would go away to Asia, and it was mostly vacation, and we could do whatever we wanted.
Hmm.
But we mixed in the business with that. Um, so we did a lot of adventures. We rode our bikes. We flew from Thailand into Laos, and then from Laos we rode our bikes into Vietnam before the embargo got lifted. We rode into Hanoi, and then we had these touring bicycles with backpacks on the side. And we spent 30 days in Vietnam and rode from
Wow.
Hanoi all the way down to Saigon. We would do about 70 to 120 miles a day and stay at these little, they weren't they didn't even have guest houses back then. It was old French embassies that they turned into hotels. Um, there were no tourists there. Nobody had seen European people since the Vietnam War, and we thought they were going to hate Americans. So we came up with the idea that, oh, we'll tell them that we're Canadian. They didn't believe us. They were like, no, no, you're American. We'd be like, all right,
How did
fine, we're
they know? How
American.
did they know? How could they tell you weren't? Did you not say A?
I think because Canadians weren't really there. It was
Hmm.
and I think for the most part the Americans were pretty nice to them. But
Yeah.
when we first got there and we left Hanoi, when we'd be riding our bikes through these rural towns, people would come out, grab rocks, and throw them at us and scream Leng Zhou. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it meant Russian. The Russians
Ah.
treated them so horribly that what was it, 40, 50, 30, 40 years later, they still had a deep hatred for how
Wow.
poorly they were treated.
Wow.
Um,
Interesting.
Other than that, everyone loved the America. They wanted to all practice their English.
Well, so you were there before, tourism really, but I'm curious. This is going to be an oddball question here, but how was the food?
You had
It, it,
rice and green vegetables, and that's it.
that's Vietnam,
And
rice and
and
green vegetables. Okay.
Yeah, and but the one thing they were very, very good at was French bread. They had
Mm,
the best bread I've ever had. I've never been to France, but the French taught them how to make bread, and they were very
mm-hmm,
good at that. And they made French pressed coffee, and the one that
mm-hmm.
it drips through. And there was French cheese. And until you got to the southern part, then you could get fresh coconuts that they would chop the tops off, and you could drink the juice and eat the jelly out of them.
Neat. And you
They were
went to,
stuck
oh,
in the
go ahead.
dark ages. They were
Really?
stuck in 1950. There was nothing newer than that. They still used steam trains there. One portion of the trip, the weather got bad, so we took a steam train for a 250 mile part of the trip. Um, yeah, it was interesting. There was literally nothing produced in the country. There was nothing to buy.
Mm.
There was no consumer goods until you got to Saigon. It's like they were stuck in. You got to see what Vietnam was really like.
Mm-hmm,
Now it's they have super highways. I
mm-hmm,
wouldn't even want to go back there now.
mm-hmm.
Um, the day we left Vietnam was the day that Clinton lifted the embargo, and every corporation on the planet was already set to pour in there and set up
Ah,
shop. It created a worldwide cement shortage. And now I'm out every single day delivering heavy particle board junk that says made
uh,
in Vietnam.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
well,
Interesting.
well observed.
Okay, so you've got your thing going, which sounds pretty cool. The traveling in the wintertime and then running the shop. And N walks blue.
Yes. So we
Oh,
sold.
I forgot to make my tea. I forgot to make a tea. Oh, shoot. We realized the other day when we were talking that we have exactly the same color Yeti. It's blue. All right, so blue came in the shop.
Yes.
About how old were you?
Well, well, we were in our mid 30s when I came in the shop, but
The
I'd been going
the
to the shop since high school.
well, the first you'd
Mhm.
seen him since high school. So
Mhm.
okay, so
I'd been shopping there since high school, and
okay.
some of these things were probably from there. So yeah, I'd seen him and the fella he met. They would sell me stuff all the time. But it wasn't until we were like in our mid 30s that I walked in.
Mhm.
I do martial arts, So I walked in for a samurai sword. Not a real one, but one that could be used in class in dojo. Be light enough and safe enough that parts don't go flying and hurt everyone in the dojo. And I know that in their cases, the whole like glass wall cases, they had weapons and they had samurai swords. So I'm like, let me go check that place and see if I can get something from there instead of ordering it. So I was real late one night and I walk in. He's the only one working. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And can I go see your case and your center? Okay, he comes unlocks the case and I'm like, I'll see that sword and I start doing some forms to see if it would work for me. And he's just watching me and he's like, what are you gonna be doing with that? And I'm like, oh, in a dojo. And we just talked for 5 straight hours. And
Not
he
too many people that would come in and look at swords. A relatively small percentage actually knew a whole lot about swords and
That
how
would
to
be
use them.
the only thing I would
Um,
look at in the store. And
Most of the people, you would hand them a sword and they turn into the Highlander or some cartoon character. And so it was immediately fascinating to observe her and listen to her talk about sword form and her dojo.
So you were in the store talking for 5 hours.
Yeah,
Yes.
we just
Okay.
kind of stood on the floor, stood on the store floor just talking. Don's a craftsman, so he was showing me his crafts. He carves wood, he sews, he does so many amazing, beautiful things. He learned how to glass blow and he made marbles and he made jewelry with glass
Wow.
pieces on it. Um, so we had, a discussion like that for 5 hours of the fascinating bits of ourselves. And he had made a little blazer out of a Baja sweater.
Yeah, it was a just a plain cream colored Mexican Baja somebody had given me, and it didn't fit right. It was too small. Um, so I cut it down the middle to turn it into a cardigan, and then I took hemp cord and I I sewed the outside of where I cut it on both sides, and then it fit really well after that. I was very proud of my work, and um, I liked turning something into something special. Because I was very proud of it, and I put it on and showed her my work, and
So
And yes,
you've got the 5 hour conversation going on, and then you left the store.
yep. Yeah, I
And
didn't buy a
uh,
sword, by the
okay.
way. Yeah, I
All right.
didn't. None of them cut the mustard, and
Okay.
so I didn't buy a sword. I didn't buy anything at all. Just hey, that was go get that. Bye, and I left, and that was it. I didn't return for months and months and months because I didn't need to go back in the store to buy anything.
So you
It's how
finally,
I.
what did you need? The day that you went back to the store, what did you think you needed?
Well, what happened was, I mean, we had um such a good time, such a good meeting, such a good talk. I was in the same town. I was in a photo club to learn digital cameras, like a camera club. And I was late at night in that town, leaving the camera club, and I thought, let me go run over by that store, say hi to that nice guy who I met that day. Just go say hi to him. And I did. So I ran over there, and there was a couple. It wasn't as late at night, so there was a couple other employees working. But you were on the register, and I come in. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Remember me?" He's like, "Yeah. Here's my phone number. Let's go. Let's go on a nature hike. Let's go have a picnic."
So let me ask you, Dawn, were you literally waiting for her to come back in and you had it planned of this time she's not getting away? She's gonna give her the phone number and that's it? I mean, what was on your mind? What were you thinking about?
I I I always remembered her and the conversation we had, and I remember thinking like, wow, that was somebody really special. And she said something to me that first time we met. I was explaining something that just seemed really simple, and she said to me, she was like, well, that's because you're an extraordinary person. And I was almost like shocked because I don't know, I hadn't heard anything like that for maybe a very long time, or never heard it in that way coming from a person like her. And then when I saw her when she came in the store again, I was like, it had been such a long time. I'm like, I need to let her know that I want to see her again much sooner, and we should get together and do something. I didn't want to risk her disappearing for another 6 months
All
or
right.
never seeing her again.
So you went on the nature hike and that was that. That's
No,
ah.
that wasn't that for quite a while. Because even though he had me at modified sweater, I refused. I refused to feel what I felt for 2 straight years. And
Okay,
there was
wait.
nothing but friendship and creepy hugging, creepy long goodbye hugging for 2 straight years of being buds. I think he was honest with himself quicker than I was. I'm really good with that compartmentalization. And so even though I knew he had me at sweater, I was not about to give in to myself.
Mm.
He didn't need to be involved. So it took me a while, and I think you also wanted to go slow, so you gave me this space I needed to, and I kept coming around. So he was always there. I mean, he was working constantly because he was now manager and part owner and everything else. So he was working constantly. So it was up to me to show up. The socialization mostly had to be at the store. It couldn't really be too much out. On his
Hmm.
day off, his half a day off, he was working another store down by the seashore, and all these stores were connected. So he was constantly working, and if we were going to see each other, I had to show up at the store. And I had to hang out at the store. And I'm all like, no indoors, no indoors kind of person. So I had to actually make the effort, and it had to mean something to me. And here I was showing up at the store, feeling like there was no other place I should be, but yet I was still not telling myself, not allowing myself to hear myself that there's a reason why you want to be at the store. It's not because you're into retail. But I'm just hanging out with my friend.
Hmm.
So that took a while, and it took texting late at night, and so I guess to jump ahead and answer the question you'll probably ask next is, so then what happened, right? So how did that gel? My sensei's wife, dear friend, the whole family's a dear friend of mine. So very close with my senseis, and there's a party clock in their house, and I'm getting text in my pocket. And I look at, she's like, who's texting you at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning? Oh, it's a friend of mine. And so she's like, well, what are they texting you? And I said, well, here. And I showed her a picture. I said, these are my friend. He just made these sort of, they were like baked tomatoes with like stuffing in it,
Yeah, stuffed tomatoes.
stuffed tomatoes. And so I was showing her, yeah, and he likes to cook. So the fellow who started the stores calls him a food alchemist.
Oh,
So I don't I
neat.
don't do much cooking around here because everybody's like,
Neat.
it's my cooking's not awful. It's just not his cooking. So we will go hungry waiting for him to come home and cook because we don't want my food.
So I have been enjoying your food lately.
Oh, thank you. I've been trying.
Yeah.
I've been I've been mentored. So I showed my friend the stuffed tomatoes, and she took my phone and looked at it, and she goes, Oh, honey, he's showing you his tomatoes at 5 in the morning. This boy loves you. She's from Texas. And it was like everything in me turned beet red. And I just stopped breathing. And it clicked. She broke down my compartmentalization and it all came together for me. I wasn't
Wow.
denying it. I just wasn't allowing myself. It had nothing to
Hmm.
do with him. So when my friend said that, it was like, I better have a conversation with him. And, we'd gone on a while now, a year or more, and it was like I was connected. I was bonded with him, and I needed to have a talk with myself and talk with him. And so that it stopped being a friendship, but it was very gently going into a relationship so I wouldn't go and retreat because I could be a hermit. Because a lot of my sensibilities of how I see the world don't match the what the world's doing. So I'm very cautious when I move in the world. So I was very cautious
Same.
with another person without intention to do that. It's just instinct now.
Hmm.
So it wasn't like I was pushing him away or denying what I was feeling. I was just like, I don't know, I wasn't really thinking at all until my friend said, "You better think about this." And so I think that's when it turned. It turned for us. And we started to seriously look at each other in that regard, that this might be something. That was like 2 years in,
Hmm.
almost.
Wow. Well,
So that was my end.
yeah, that's a nice story. That's nice. So, all right. Then enters
Wait, real quick.
Devin.
I have a quick question. Um, what does explaining how these two met have to do with the episode like, what does it, is it required for the listeners to understand their personalities? Um,
Oh, I actually, I'll tell you something, Devin. Once I hit record, every once in a while, I'll remember that there's a camera and I might look up and talk to these people out there. But most of the time, I've forgotten all about it and I'm just having a conversation because I want to know, I'm curious about something. And so and I seldom plan things anyway. I don't have an agenda going in because then it feels scripted. It's improv. We're doing improv here. So, but no,
Alan was good at that.
yeah, seriously, I try not to think about what other people are going to get from it and or what they're going to think about it.
I only think about what other people are going to think of something that I did, I can't find a good example for it.
Well, I'll tell you something. That is very restricting, and it's hobbling, I guess, is a good word too, because somebody told me it was actually um, somebody that I knew in the business of Hollywood, and they said regarding they were talking to an actor, and they said the actor was having a hard time doing her job because she was very concerned with what other people were thinking. What does the director want from me right now? And he said to her, what other people think about you is none of your business.
That's right.
And I found that to be like, wow, really useful because it's true. If you think about what,
I'm like that in some situations. When it comes to this kind of stuff, um, I care more about what other people are going to think of it than the conversation that I'm having.
You're
ah,
self-conscious.
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
normally I don't really care. I wear a cloak and I wear a cloak and a blank t-shirt,
There's nothing wrong with it.
and I don't care that other people think because I enjoy wearing the cloak. like every single day, all day long.
Yep. It's more important that you be you than you be something that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Because who are you trying to be
Be,
acceptable
be,
for?
because to me, I am acceptable to myself.
You are acceptable. End of story. You're enough.
Yeah, and like and say if I dressed in like fashion or something, I wouldn't like it because that's not actually me. I like this, wearing a cloak and not caring what other people think. That's me.
I like it too. And if you weren't doing it, it would make me sad because I like you.
Yeah.
And I like you liking you.
Yeah.
And this makes you happy. Then that makes me happy and Melissa and Dad and everybody else. And probably the folks watching.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want from you, your authenticity. And this goes right back to Alan's teachings. You've heard so many. And that's what he talks about, your authenticity and your intrinsic self.
Yeah.
It's not something to be performed.
So that's it. So I mean, actually, how your mom and dad met and all of that really, I mean, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, except I'm curious and I like to know things. And I've talked to them before, and then I've talked to you two without him being here, and I've heard certain parts of it, but I wanted to get more into I wanted to feel the story and I actually got to, So for me that was really good and maybe other people will enjoy that too, but I don't care. So,
But what I do care about is the remark of these people. She was like, these people. We'll talk about that
I
later.
don't consider myself people.
We'll talk about that later. What does
Wait,
these people have to do?
what do you mean?
That's what you referred
well,
to us as these people.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
did.
How did these people
I
how
didn't
these
understand
people
any other way to say it. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of any other way to
I
say
know,
it.
honey. Relax. It's okay.
I
We know.
I know I know how you I think I know how you feel about your mom and dad, and so I know you're not actually looking at them.
I love her more than anything else in the world. I would give absolutely anything for her.
Ditto.
Okay.
Ditto. Ditto.
All right. Okay. So Dawn,
I
now
don't.
you're at the store, you've gotten together, you have a family, your beautiful, soon to be strong young woman. She's going to grow really fast, and you're on the East Coast. And a series of things happen, which we don't have to go to there, or we can go there, it doesn't matter. But eventually you decide to leave and go west. Anything that you want to share about that is would be interesting to me. Um, I've seen the skeleton, but I haven't really heard much else. So,
Well, that store that Lou and I met at no longer exists, and it was on its way out. It kind of my good friend who owned it, let's say he kind of dissolved himself in self-destructive ways and
uh,
eventually met his end, but it was consuming he was consuming everything around him, including the business. So the business got starved. He tried to pull me back. When I had met him, he was in recovery from alcohol and drugs,
mhm.
and he was a very good influence on me when I was 16. Um, I didn't participate in any of that because of his influence. And then when he got older, it got to him. It got him. And I couldn't follow where he was going. And when I introduced him to Blue, he couldn't even see her. It's like he looked past her. He was blind to the world around him, the world that was true. He was lost in a fantasy world by that time. So um, that part of my life was over, and the store closed. Blue and I moved in with Blue and started a new life, one that didn't involve a store. I was I was done with having a store and just dealing with people in a retail. It had been decades of me doing that. I can't tell you how I get nightmares from Christmas music because of what I've been subjected to.
Though, no matter what, the Christmas music kind of it's a nightmare just listening to Christmas music.
Easily
It's like, oh
triggered.
my God, make it stop. It's absolute torture.
Bong, 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 bong.
That one is
Bong,
so
bong,
bad.
bong,
I
bong,
hate
bong.
that one.
Paul,
Bong,
Mc,
bong, bong,
Paul
bong.
McCartney Christmas songs are that rate's the worst, and it.
Bong, bong, bong. Bong, bong, bong.
Okay. Um,
So you'd had enough of the whole retail scene.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't have to work for a couple of years pretty much, and it was nice just having the freedom to wake up when we wanted to, stay up as late as we wanted, go on adventures every day, go out hiking or go to flea markets looking for treasures, garage sales. Um,
That's how we shop. Garage sales, flea markets, thrift stores. I haven't been into a department store since I went into his store.
Very cool.
Honestly, I don't know, some food stores once in a while, health food
yeah.
stores. I don't like going into stores. I'm not a shopper. So, but I really love talking to people. So the main reason we started going to garage sales was she was extremely shy. She would scream at people, wouldn't go into buildings, scream at family members. So somebody
I
made the
don't know.
brilliant,
I don't know what my problem was back then.
and so
I just didn't like being around humans, and I kind of still don't.
no, well,
Certain
the
humans.
good ones.
Yeah.
So somebody said, a family member said, bring her out to garage sales. She's outside. Brilliant. So we started, it became like a weekend thing. Like it was like, let's go. And she would then start, walking around like a dinosaur, making people laugh. And she got out of her shyness.
I was so that dinosaur thing. It was so weird. I don't know why I did it.
She was a good dinosaur, a good velociraptor. Some people still remember you as the velociraptor.
And I figured out how to get the stance perfectly. I can no longer bend my back that far. It's I tried it a couple days ago and it was just like my back hurt for a couple hours.
But that was it. No longer shy. No longer shy from going out to flea markets and garage sales. And then it really became we started to know some old timers, and she really got good. When she was 2, she haggled over a painting of a tree we still have in the living room.
And then like I go back and I look at myself as a dinosaur from like some videos that I have or something. And I was like, what was I thinking back then?
And I was like, you were thinking of just expressing yourself, like
Yeah.
it wasn't a problem. You're judging yourself far too much. But you didn't turn it off. It became she wouldn't speak English. She was just dinosaur the whole time. But she haggled. She was saw a little painting she wanted of a tree she was 2, and he's like $5. She's like, I'll give you 2. And he's like, sold. And she found me. She's like, look at the painting I just bought. It's still in the living room. It's of this like oak tree.
Oh, cool. Okay. Next time we have a conversation, you have to be sure and show me the tree.
Okay. We
I
gotta
like
go
that.
get the roving
I don't
tree.
even know where it is.
It's right by the kitchen. It's right above the Chinese cabinet.
I can go climb and get it.
You want to go get it now?
Yeah.
It's up here. It's up to Melissa.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Do you really think you can get it? It's up high.
I think so.
We'll get it next time.
Okay. Yeah.
I enjoy balancing on.
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't
doesn't
want to
look-
be, this is a disaster waiting to happen.
Don't send the 13-year-old off on a solo quest.
Trust me, I'm very good at balancing and climbing.
You are.
Yes, I'm
Not
sure.
doing We'll do
Yeah.
it next time.
I can
I
dangle
have to
on
tell
a
you,
bar for a
I
minute.
have to tell you, Devin, this is the thing that I hate the most about aging is that I was a monkey my entire life, like a monkey until just really a few years ago. I've started doing some kind of odd monkey behavior again, such as grabbing a hold of an upper cabinet and then pulling myself up on the counter. I'm like, no, I'm not giving into it. The monkey is not ready to go. But
I used to do weird things like that, like if I was in between two tables, I would just put my hands on the tables and do like some kind of it was like a mix of a pull up and a push up in the air.
I
mhm.
do that.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I was a monkey too. I
yeah,
climbed trees every single day. I wore my body out already being a
yeah,
monkey. So I know what you're talking about. I'm the
yeah.
same way. And I'm starting to get the frozen shoulder.
And then like
Yes.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
bad.
I'll go outside and dangle on a rope like a sloth
You're a different kind of monkey than I think what we're
until like
talking
I feel weird because all the blood's rushing to my head.
about. You like to
Yeah.
go train.
Yeah,
You like to go be disciplined and train.
yeah.
This kind of monkeying was like
No,
double doses.
I was able to, leap around, whatever. Not it just move and grab it and I'm like, wait a minute. Remember the good old days where you just hopped up on countertops and grabbed what you needed and jumped down and, kind of flew about the house? What happened? All right, so I
Thing
want
is,
to No, go ahead.
one thing is, whenever I run around the house, it's not silent. You can hear the floor shake. I've learned how to silence it a little bit. I figured out it's complicated to explain, but I figured out a way of running where I don't make a lot of noise. Because like so many times he's been in like another room, and then like he knows where I am at all times because it's like doosh 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 all over the house.
Those pitter patter of little feet kept going.
And now I have figured out how to control it so I can run silently
Okay.
and
Make
not
it stealth.
yeah, and not scare the dogs.
Yes.
It's like it'll be like I go running and it's like all dogs start screaming because
I
they think like
know.
somebody's breaking into the house.
Because you do it in such a panic, everybody gets stressed.
And I'm like,
What happened? Nothing. Well, yeah.
So at a certain point, you decided to go west,
Hmm.
and that's where you are now. And you've been there for 5 years,
I'll be back.
Okay,
and
yes,
you're
ma'am.
no jumping up and getting that tree painting.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm going to go cool off.
Okay,
I'm
she's warm.
cooking.
Oh, okay.
Warm. Maybe
All right.
take your jacket off.
Okay. So I think really we had a conversation that you describe yourself as homesteading.
Yeah, I do.
So let's talk about the vision and how you're making that happen, the hardships, the challenges, what's involved in how you're trying to live.
Yeah, so we were in suburbia back east, and both of us, and most of our lives, all of our lives.
We were surrounded by barbarians wielding hedge cutters and lawnmowers. And we had a little, our little property was like a jungle of
Yeah.
life and beauty and whatever food we could grow on it.
Yeah, it was, I had been there 34 years and it was all tall growth. When I got there, it, when I was 11, it was like a golf course, just grass. And then so through that 34, 35 years, I worked with nature and it was old growth. Then Don came along and had a knack for it too of gardening. So but we were still in suburbia. It wasn't urban, but it was suburbia. And I
Hmm.
think when we both decided we were choosing where we were going to move, we were like, no matter what, we're going rural. And no matter what, we're gonna, have a garden and chickens and we're gonna live that kind of life. And I always collected books on it and dreamt about it and learned things. And so, okay, it's time to move. Let's do this. We'd been there forever for our lives. And it's like, okay, great. Let's go for the homesteading kind of life. So let's go for the rural lifestyle. Not farmers, but self-sustainers as much as possible. And then we can keep dialing that back until we're very self-sustaining. So that's how we concurred on that. And so we said, okay, let's go shoot for that kind of life. And so we're just going to go back to Pennsylvania, where I'd come from. And then just started messing around. Hey, how about Maine? How about, and then we figured, after research, we just went, Idaho. It's like the best place in the
If we could
country.
have a choice to move somewhere, it'd be somewhere very cold with a lot of snow.
It used to be cold here.
There's like it seems like March right now.
Yeah.
There is like no snow.
No, it's warm and sunny. This year, the first couple years we were here, it was pretty snowy.
There was like
It was really cold.
2 feet of snow, I think.
Yeah, it was not, no, more.
Really?
Right, yeah.
I don't have much memory.
It'll come back.
Next year.
Mhm.
It'll come back. We were
Mhm.
supposed to be buried in snow.
You know, it's going to snow here tomorrow night. And may at least that's what the forecast says, and freezing rain, and it'll probably be, I mean, hopefully everything holds and I've got the plants covered, so but it's going to be very, very cold for a few days. It's kind of cold now, but it's going to get colder.
Speaking of freezing rain, one of my favorite things to do is when it's raining and it's cold and it's wet, I go outside and just run around and get soaking wet. It's I find it so fun. It's kind of relaxing. I'm the only one who actually understands why.
That's okay. That's all right.
It's a good thing.
Okay, so you go to school at home.
Homeschool.
Yeah.
And what's a typical day for you?
Trying to think.
It never shuts off, so we don't have a school time.
Right.
It's every moment's opportunity to learn. So I'll be like, why don't you help Dada in the kitchen when he's making dinner and she can learn something. It's just like constantly, she likes to read a lot. So sometimes I have to be like, get outside. Stop reading.
And then like I write
Is it okay? Is it okay if I read the poem that you sent me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to look for that right now. Let's see. That will involve glasses for sure. Okay, here it is. I can get up here. Okay. Okay, so this is a poem that comes from an anime. If I get it wrong, you correct me, but this is from an anime. Your mom, when we talked the other day, she said that you are allowed one kind of online thing that you do together. And we're not going to talk about what that is. I don't want to discuss that, but you do this one thing and then you don't watch much because that's not good for you either, but you do have an anime that you like to watch.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what the name of that is
Yes, of course.
Okay. It's called Bleach.
Yeah.
Okay, so you watch an anime called Bleach. Is there anything you want to say about the show, the setup, who the characters are before I read the poem?
So the main plot of the story is like there's the Soul Society, which is like heaven, and then there's the world of the living, which is Earth. There's some other parts, but it's kind of boring and it takes kind of long to explain. But the Soul Society is the main universe in the anime, and I don't. It might take a little bit too long to explain like the 13 court guard squads.
Probably don't have to.
I don't have to.
Just the ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, give her the mic and give and you can give me just a little bit more about it. You don't have to tell me all of it, but
What are they fighting for?
Yeah, so pretty much always
Basic idea.
the main villains of the story are evil spirits called hollows. I'll explain to you what a hollow is. They're people who have died and their soul was not able to move on to the soul society, so they were left behind and forgotten. And the regrets of their life turn them into a hollow, which then therefore they go and hunt down humans and eat their souls. And so the people that live in the Soul Society are called Soul Reapers, and what they do is they go to the world of the living and slay the Hollows, which purifies them and sends them to the Soul Society. That's the whole meaning of the story. And then it just kind of once the Blood War starts, kind of goes off on its own thing. It's no longer about that. And it's about a war that I can't really remember much about.
A spiritual war?
Yeah. There was a lot of interesting stuff in the Thousand Year Blood War. I'd have to go watch the whole thing, analyze it, and then I could tell her some of the stuff that I learned.
You haven't seen
okay.
it.
See, I've seen parts of it, which now I have it so I can go watch it.
All right. That'll
I should concede.
I will I
Like,
am going to look forward to this analysis of it. I will. And I'm going to share this because I thought it was really good, and I think it's a standalone. You don't really have to know what's going on in the show for this. It's
right.
nice poem. So it says, hardships shape you into someone of true value. People chase the sun like it's the only thing that matters, but the brighter the sun shines, the darker the shadow it casts. That life, every joy carries sorrow. Every victory leaves scars. You can't separate the two. They walk together. Think of a story with no struggle, no pain, no loss. Would you remember it? Of course not. A story without shadow has no depth. It's the hardship, the darkness that makes the light worth noticing. Straight is the same way.
Strength. I spelled it wrong.
Strength?
I literally spelled it wrong. I don't.
Strength.
Oh, okay. So, strength,
Yep.
that's the name. Okay, so strength is the same way. A man who lives only on the light is fragile, like glass waiting to shatter. But a man who carries his shadow, who accepts his darkness, becomes solid, unbreakable. Light gives him hope, shadow gives him weight. It's balance that makes you whole. Okay, I have to get up. Okay, so I'm interrupting this on camera, but I've got a cat that's lost his mind and he must be he's got to be put into another part of the house. I'll be right
Oh
back.
no, it sounds like here. Yeah. Good.
I spelled about only I spelled only I messed up only two words.
That's
No,
all right.
it's
How you doing, Bacon? Don's out for a pit stop.
okay.
I
All
was
right.
writing
So sorry about that.
I
I
was writing
couldn't.
the whole thing in a hurry, so I spelled that one word wrong.
Okay, that's all right. So I'm gonna start again there. I won't cut it. I'll just leave that in. I couldn't get rid of the cat. He ran. He knew he was in trouble. I'm like, oh no, she's gonna lock me away. All right, so here it is. Hardships shape you into someone of true value. People chase the sun like it's the only thing that matters, but the brighter the sun shines, the darker the shadow it casts. That life, every joy carries sorrow. Every victory leaves scars. You can't separate the two, they walk together. Think of a story with no struggle, no pain, no loss. Would you remember it? Of course not. A story without shadow has no depth. It's the hardship, the darkness that makes the light worth noticing. Strength is the same way. A man who lives only on the light is fragile, like glass waiting to shatter. But a man who carries his shadow, who accepts his darkness, becomes solid, unbreakable. Light gives him hope, shadow gives him weight. It's balance that makes you whole. The sun without shadow is blinding, and shadow without sun is despair. But together they paint the full picture of who you are. So don't curse your shadow and don't worship only the light, embrace them both. And don't worship only the light, embrace them both.
I spelled that
Because
wrong again.
no, I don't think you did. You just didn't put a comma there, and I always go by punctuation. So don't curse your shadow and don't worship only the light. Embrace them both. Because just like the sun, your strength is only real when your shadow walks beside you. Now, I think that that is really great. I
Really?
like it. We lost Dawn, I noticed. I was
Coming back.
okay. Okay. Man down.
No, excuse me, coming through. Excuse me, coming through, coming through.
Hey. All
Told
right.
you to go
So,
before the flight.
Yeah, so that was something that I saw in the it was a more recent season of this anime, and I saw that and I was like, I have to go write this down.
yes, I'm glad you
And I
did.
was like, first thing I thought of was like, I need to tell you.
You
Well,
need.
I'm glad that you did. It actually, I don't think I can pull it up super fast, but it ties in, Gregory Gorsuch, the theologian that I have mentioned, and I actually read earlier this week an email he sent on that hideous strength. But I had an exchange with him a couple of weeks ago about relationship and the shadow in people that we all, really that's the work of looking in the mirror is acknowledging that and learning to live with it. You can't, I don't think it's possible to escape your shadow.
Yin yang,
People,
that you have to accept your darkness and embrace your light.
and if you don't do that, well, then you're in denial of who you are. You're not a complete person. But he was saying in the email that he sent me that people who don't acknowledge their shadow, you can only have a superficial relationship with them. Okay, that is Noisy Winston. He was having such a nice sleep and now he's up. So I'm going to stealthily go and lovingly capture him and put him in the bedroom. I'll be right back.
You got it.
It's like
It's like
all of the episodes that she does with other people are normal. When she talks to us, her cat is freaking out. I'm stuttering, and he keeps going back and forth.
she's gonna edit this.
and,
It's gonna look like everybody else's
and I
show.
keep leaving. And then
Don't
she
twist
ca-
it.
So I want to, what I want to find out is where Alan Watt, because I think that's how we all got to talking here some time back, how he came in to be a part of your life listening wise, and also how it's going with the homesteading, because I know it's a huge learning curve. It's not easy. And so some of the things that you thought now, Dawn is driving, because and you're doing some things like, for instance, with the dogs that you might not choose to do, the breeding and all of that, that it might, it's a way of supporting a life that is worth trying to live, but has challenges. Was that too much? Was that
No,
like
that's
70 questions all wrapped up neat?
accurate.
and
Scary
and
accurate.
to answer your question about I'll just answer my part. How we started listening to Alan. I started listening to it because they were listening to it, and I could always hear it. Then once I got a little older, I started to understand it. Then I actually really enjoyed them. At first, I was just like, it was like white noise. I didn't understand what was going on. But now I listen to it and I'm able to understand pretty much everything that is said.
And now we listen to Melissa's shows
Yeah.
and all the different content.
And then sometimes I do actually relate to the stuff that she talks about.
Yeah.
And therefore
Sometimes that's good.
then go watch then go watch the anime and
Yeah.
um
She analyzes
analyzes
it.
the
Yeah,
whole
she
thing.
likes to analyze things. We don't have television. We don't watch TV. We'll purchase a DVD, watch that. Like, so our little dog who is very ill, but miraculously doing well, the 1970s Benji movies is her favorite. Like they will sit and watch the Benji movie
I've watched
and the
that
dog
Benji movie.
watches.
I've watched that Benji movie like 11 times. I don't think I can do it again.
And you say like you want to watch a Benji movie and she'll get all excited. So when she's not well and she's not feeling good, we put the Benji movie on and it gets her out of her funk. It gets her out of herself for a bit.
Oh,
So,
that's very
why did I
cute.
talk about that?
I
What was the
have
thing with
no
it?
idea.
Oh, I'm not sure why I went there.
It's gonna be the weirdest Melissa conversation.
But
Oh,
so
no, 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 no.
You and I can't keep things sane.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, your dad just said that that's why he looks forward to coming home to a house with strong women in it because it's sane. That was the reason he
that's
gave.
your definition of sane.
Yep.
Well, yeah, no, we're sane, I guess, but we like to be painfully sane.
And at night, especially she gets so goofy.
We do a little book club between us at night. And I do a lot of comedy with her toys.
Very weird, but I enjoy it.
It's I do all my improv and all my comedy that I've learned at night during our book club that we do every
Hey.
night so it started to get her to read and to put her to bed. And now it's just for me to do comedy for us to laugh ourselves to sleep
And
at
then
this
I'm
point.
trying to get you to wake up, and I'm like, Mama, wake up!
It's really
And then
funny.
you're like,
I fall asleep
and
doing
then
it.
you're talking in your sleep,
Oh, that's the best.
and then you start babbling about like kittens on a wall or something.
Yeah, it's this hypnagogic kind of book club starts to
And
happen.
sometimes that's even funny. It actually has to do with book club, and she's doing voices of the characters in her sleep. Sometimes even characters that she doesn't even do that I do the voices of.
Really?
Yeah, you did that
I'm
sometimes.
sleeping. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you did that a couple times.
It's funny. Yeah, like certain toys have voices and they all sit around and we all do a book club. She reads the book and they all comment and it becomes mayhem.
All right. I like that.
And
So,
it's just something we do together and
I have almost all of it recorded.
yeah, she records them. Again, how did
ah,
we segue into this?
No idea.
well, I did ask what's a day in the life
Oh, sure. Well, that's a
for
night. Every night we do
homeschool.
book club.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe learning should be fun and learning should have an experience with it. It's not just a book. It's not just something to remember. It's something to feel. It's something to have an experience with. So her learning has always been included with all the senses. So we'll do comedy. Comedy would be a part of math.
And also I do a lot of art usually.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not always, but if I'm working on an art project, I wake up, first thing I go do is go work on the art and then like pick at my food while I'm eating the art while I'm doing the art because like if you know what I mean,
Of course I know what you mean.
it's once you start an art project, it's hard to stop and do anything else.
Hey, I write. So that's another thing I do is I write.
Hmm.
My own little story I've been writing since I was in my 20s and one of my dear friends is 101. So between my friend and Don, they were like, you have to try to publish this. You have to try to at least self-publish this. People want to read this. People will enjoy this. And so I have got it into the editing process now. I'm not going to go mainstream because I don't want to be a part of that. So I will self-publish. And I'm like the same way. I wake up and I just want to be at my writing.
Yeah.
It was my hobby to
And then,
keep me sane.
even though I haven't done it in a while, like once I'm not doing an art project, and I'm not playing the game, I'm training. And it's
Yeah.
like I wake up
Martial
and I instantly go train. And then like I tire myself out, then go to bed and like then dream about training.
I know. I
It's
know.
great.
I know.
Yeah.
I have the same training bug, but I haven't trained because I got all the mom stuff
And I have not trained in a
homes.
while just because I don't feel like I can do it.
It's also the weather,
Yeah.
kind of. It's
So
been wet.
Dawn, do you with the change leaving the East Coast where you'd been your whole life and you're out here now
What?
and there are challenges here. There are challenges to make ends meet and to do what you need to do. Just the money spent on dog food alone is a
Mm.
small fortune. So you're do you have time and energy left after trucking all over the mountains to pursue any of the crafts and art and things that you'd like to do?
Very minimal yeah, it's difficult. Right now we're working on a hearth project to go
Hmm.
around um our wood stove, and I've been
Ah,
collecting river stones for a couple of months now. I throw them in my delivery truck every day, and I come home and I dump the stones on a pile, and so now we're picking out the stones and placing them individually, packing mortar around it and smoothing it out, and
oh,
eventually
that'll be beautiful. I can't wait to see that finished project.
uh,
Neat.
a lot of projects they go pretty slow. It took us a year over a year to get a goat barn built. Um, between getting the sawmill wood here and excuse me, and then one day a week, spending half the day working on the goat barn, and eventually it got done, and the goats are up there and having a good time. Now, the next project up there with the goats is to put all of the fencing in, which sounds pretty easy, but most of the area where the goats are, as soon as you pound a tea stake down about 8 inches, you reach solid rock. So tea
Ah,
stake will not work very well. And goats are escape artists, so
how
um,
do you deal with that?
right now they just live in the goat barn.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there
yeah,
a way to drill into the rock, or have you? Is there a?
I did get a an
Jackhammer.
electric jackhammer, so that's what's going to happen in the spring,
Yeah.
and that should work. Hopefully, we can get the T-post deep enough to support the fencing.
It also has to be said that we're not alone out here. This is a rural community. So right now, our internet, my neighbor, he's a phenom and he's running his own internet company, and we're on his internet. We're not
Oh.
going, yeah, everybody's do it yourself up here.
Hmm.
So right now he's borrowing our jackhammer, someone else is borrowing our log splitter. Then there's a lot of bartering,
Hmm.
and everybody has like cat machines and big loaders, and so everybody helps everybody else. Let's fix your driveway and let's do this. So that's, we had help with the goat barn. So we had a friend who is like an architect, and he drew up the goat barn. Then the other friend, he used to he what did he do? He
He
did
was a
something.
builder.
He was a builder. And then he helped us build off of the other friends, so and then either you pay them or you swap for something you have. And somebody else gave us all our goats. We can't keep our goats
Uh,
anymore. Oh, the
the same
same guy.
guy who was the builder. He wanted to. We did him a favor by taking the goats off of him,
Ah.
but they were too difficult for him to take care of, and he wanted to be able to go away places when he wanted to. And we needed goats, so it worked out perfect. And he was a nice gentleman, and offered to help once a week till the goat barn was finished. And I learned a lot of building skills from him.
That's neat.
Uh,
So all this we're talking about, all the challenges and projects, we now have another couple who are coming over. We're swapping. So they helped us dig out all the chicken yards because it gets like muddy this time of year, and then put
Hmm.
new gravel down. And we're going and helping them chop wood. So there's a lot of that going on where there's actual community presence.
I got along good with the lady. We're
Yeah.
similar.
Yep. Yeah, you are. So and she has friends and she has kid friends and little boy friend.
So what was it like to move to the area? So there's a lot of do-it-yourselfers and a lot of people who are trying to live in a way that's just, not like the Flatlanders. So how did you fit in? How did you acclimate to the area? Did they kind of welcome you, open arms, and say, "Hey, glad you're here," or was it an adjustment
The
period?
main thing that I remember is the neighbor telling us it's like somebody's over on the other side of the property and somebody else is over here. We scream to each other. And like even in the house, like she'll tell me to go tell him something, and I'm like standing right next to her. I'm like come in here right now.
Yeah, apparently we're loud, but I don't know if we are anymore.
We
Uh,
used to be.
no, well, we were definitely welcomed with open arms.
Yeah.
It was some of the neighbors were down at the road waiting for us to pull into our area.
I can't remember like anything from back then.
And especially the neighbor with the internet. So the neighbor with the
We arrived here in Idaho on Christmas Eve in the middle of uh the coof. We'll call it that.
Operation C.
I think it was December 24th, 2020 we arrived and
That was a major factor for making us get away from the East Coast too. We said, I think
Yeah.
now is the time we should make our escape,
hmm
go
it,
somewhere.
hmm
it felt suffocating. It
You
the
mean, are you telling me that 6 feet apart was suffocating? That wasn't enough space for you?
I don't know. We didn't do it. So 6 feet, that wasn't in our world. And
back then I didn't even know what was going on.
no, back then
Yeah.
you were still a dinosaur.
I was
Why would I tell you? It's crazy.
I was the one
ran around on all fours on the floor.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I had to do the food shopping during all that and
Oh,
everything that Alan talked about rang so true. I as soon as I saw the lines to get in the stores, I was like, this is for the coming food
yeah.
rationing system that will be everywhere.
How did you how did you get into Alan's talks?
Uh,
I'm asking that. I'm asking that just for me because I know you've told me, but I don't remember. So.
Olivia was born and she did not like being put down. She would not nap. She would fall asleep in your arms and really enjoyed that. But if you tried putting her in a crib, she would get so upset that she would turn blue
Ah,
and she wasn't going to stop being upset. So,
Yeah, back then I was like, if I didn't get exactly what I wanted, I had a fit over it.
yeah, she would just stop breathing. So, the advice that people said, "Oh, just put her in a crib and close the door and forget about it." That wouldn't have worked.
No.
So, um, she would sleep in
We
the
started a
bed
book club.
in between us. And
Bed.
when she got just a little bit older and she could start turning around or crawling, I would stay up and watch over and
Co-sleeping is what you're
yeah.
saying. Co-sleeping, and then he would stay awake and watch us co-sleep. But
so
Alan,
the sleeping. All right.
yeah.
So
So he was
you
up.
So
He was up with no nobody to be with. But we were sleeping or he was around the house. But he would take the night shift and I would take the day shift.
I really don't understand what this has to do with.
Alan, what we're getting there. It's the long way
What
around.
does this have to do with conversations about how messed up the universe is?
We'll get there.
yeah, there were oh, nobody wants to hear about that. All right. So
Alan covers that well enough for the rest of us. So sitting up late at night.
I was watching stuff on YouTube and based on what I was interested in, Alan's talks came up. And at first, I thought it was going to be Alan Watts, who I'd heard before. And that man, it's interesting to listen to him, but you feel like you're walking in circles and you actually get nowhere. Um, and so I was listening to Alan Watt, and I quickly realized he really sees what's going on, and this is really, really truly happening, what he's talking about. This isn't just some person's opinion. Um, and the fact that he would discuss everything in such a manner, it felt like you were listening to a professor. It was,
Undeniable
yeah,
and
and
eye-opening.
yeah, ta and taking it all in, and I had already been on that path of sorts, but it he made it crystal clear what was really going on in the world.
And where it came from.
And pretty much once I found Alan, I didn't watch anything else. I didn't listen to anything else. I just listened to every single one of his shows that I could find and just absorbed it, digested it. I didn't want to bring it up to Blue right off the bat because a lot of it was pretty shattering. It shattered a lot of illusions that I still kept. And eventually I started talking to Blue about it. There were certain times um, when what Alan was saying was just it was too much. It there was one episode and he started talking about how they could drive a military vehicle by your house and bathe the house with strong microwaves and be able to see every occupant in the house, and even manipulate the waves to get certain effects, panic, fear, anger, and it made me feel overwhelmed and powerless for a minute.
What that makes me feel like is then you have to go overpower them. I have to be stronger than them to protect you from that kind of stuff. That's what goes on in my mind when I hear that. It's like, oh, you think your machines are so strong? Well, I'm gonna get stronger than you. I'm gonna destroy your machines.
And you can, and you do in here.
This is where it happens. Smarter here. Version of that, but when I was younger, that's what I thought.
And Alan said, um, if any of what I talk about is overwhelming you or stressing you out, just stop listening for a period. Don't let it get to you. So I started doing that and not becoming fearful, and because depending how you absorb it all, it can make you very fearful and paranoid, which makes you weak, and that was never Alan's intention.
In my mind, being paranoid, if you handle the paranoia the right way, it makes you prepared. That's how I see it. I'm probably wrong though.
I like that kind of
I
thought.
think you're right about that.
I like that.
Like I'm paranoid about random things, and that's the reason why I'm training. And so I guess I'll be more prepared.
Also, that's maturing for you too.
Yeah.
Like learning the world still. And now learning the world with eyes that Alan helped your family see. So once Don brought Alan to, I had a different reaction to Alan. It didn't scare me. It relieved me. So I lived with no illusions. So you said it broke some illusions for you. I never had illusions. I was born going, what is going on here? This is crazy. And was always told I was stressing people out or I was rude or
And illusions are just fantasies.
Yeah. And so once Don finally approached me with Alan's work, I sat down and watched the interviews. So what's on your DVDs? That was my very first. It wasn't his talks, it was watching Alan talk and sit and explain everything. And it was like, oh my God, like all this weight just lifted from me. And I wanted more and I wanted more and I wanted to hear all the scary stuff. Let's tackle this. Like it was encouraging and inspiring, and I would geek out. And I went, now I've got to buy Tragedy and Hope and read it now. And now I have, so I was like, let's get the list. Let's rip a bunch of talks. And so I started to get Sakor sustenance from, and so instead of scaring me, it told me why things were off my whole life, why I would shake my head and be like, I don't get why it's like this. This isn't right. So when I was a little
I don't
kid,
understand anything about this universe
so when I was a little kid,
or whatever this
I
is
would
supposed to be.
shake my fist at the television and be like, these are false advertisements. Toy doesn't work like that, you know? So I was always sort of, so nature taught me a lot. And if you listen to within and the within that's without, you can get to the place that Alan teaches you without knowing any of the stuff Alan is teaching you. So I think the essence of Alan was my default, not an illusion that had to be busted. So there was this great sense of relief in finding Alan, and I need to keep, even to this day, analyzing and working with. And I really love everybody who comes on Real History. I enjoy every show. Prince is one of my favorites, and I miss him dearly. He had Alan's spirit in his the way he could hear and the way he could see. And it's the same ability Alan had to see and hear through.
I left the mail down on the kitchen table, or I would share it with you, but I got two letters in the mail today, one from you and one from Prince.
Two favorite people.
Yeah. So,
Awesome. I love when
yeah,
you share Prince's letters.
yeah. So
Because Prince wrote me. Oh, good.
yeah.
But you have such fascinating guests, and the whole community, the tribe that came out to support Alan's legacy and to support you supporting Alan's legacy. It's why we're here today.
I have to tell you that it amazes me. I mean, I was thinking about that again today because in regards to the cutting through books, which are just about to go over the last hurdle, and it's and other things that I have going on and I'm working on and communications, and I think this is amazing. This part of it where there's this, and that's it was just two cards, two index size cards with, from Prince. And I couldn't tell you the entire content of both of them, but I flipped over the very back side. There again, Prince is reminding me that love is the
Yes.
mechanism for survival. And thank you, Prince. Thank you. And that is what I see with the people who helped me because they loved Alan. The work meant something. It helps them. They return to it. And I am just always, every day grateful for that. I, I have an amount. I struggle with certain things like paying the darn property tax, but the support that I get from people is just something that I can't say often enough. Thank you, and how grateful I am for it.
It's definitely felt on this end of the broadcast and the podcasts and
Yeah,
everything else. It's felt and it's heard.
yeah.
And I'm grateful for the tribe. It hurts a lot that Alan's not here. And it hurts that he's not here to continue just his normal life. But it hurts that he's not here to continue his own education on things. But yet he is here and he is where he needs to be. And everybody's kind of getting involved in that, supporting that and upholding that. And it fills our home. Still, the reduxes, everything, our own searching back through the archives and your shows and the book club. And to me, it's still a great relief. Like it actually helped me be who I am and not hold it back and hide it and be a hermit. Alan brought me out. At the time when I was like going through postpartum, and all that kind of stuff, and other crazy things were going on, life got very challenging for the past 10 years. And Alan was able to, I could go away from Alan, put his work away, and then there was this sense of freedom
Mm-hmm.
just to go do whatever I needed to do and see what I needed to see in the world, knowing that there's this core of you're not alone and you're not crazy. You
Mm-hmm.
and what you're seeing, you're really seeing. You're not just being hard to get along with or judgment. It's real and you're really seeing it, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
It made me a better wife, a better mom, because I could just be like, I'm just gonna forget all that stuff. I don't have to worry about it now. It's just garbage.
Yeah, that's great.
And then
Well,
you can
I
geeky and then you can get start talking about like the poem.
Yeah.
Then you can start places. And like you, I'm a little more interested in but what's the flip side of all this? What's the positive side of all this? There's something more going on here than just what's going wrong. What's fighting
Mhm.
that, right? And love is the major front force that it's being eradicated. The
I
fight is on the individual.
it absolutely is, and this is the there's something in the real history that I'm going to do with Nick Hayes, which is going to be next week. We're going to cover A Scanner Darkly,
Hmm.
and there's some avenues that I've gone down around that book that take me back to Alan in the best possible way because I mean it's kind of long and involved and I'll keep it for the conversation with Nick, but it really is me getting more into where Philip K. Dick was coming from, who he was compared to other sci-fi writers, what journey was he on,
Right.
who were his influences, and I've gone down some very amazing avenues. And I've spent yesterday and today, I've been on this kind of power listening, power reading,
Yeah.
power watching around this. And I've just taken in hours and hours and hours of information. And I'll leave it for next week. But
Yeah.
what I got to the bottom of today is that what Alan was saying over and over and over again was that our individuality, what makes us unique individuals, holding on to that is essential. And what you'll find is that everyone in the world who isn't actively fighting to be an individual is trying to bring you into the Borg one
Mhm.
way or another. And it's insidious and it is in everything. And it's just like these concentric circles and overlapping agendas that all have to do with destroying you as an individual. And it's quite interesting
Like
to
they're just
come at it from. Yeah, go ahead.
it's like they're just trying to make people clones of each other. Make them all look the same, act the same, do the
Hmm.
same things, live in similar looking houses, They're just trying to make the mass population one unit.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
That's the board, right?
Yeah, that is it.
And then
That is
eventually
it.
that gets dialed back.
Yeah.
And that gets dialed back, and that won't be acceptable anymore. And then
Yeah.
just breathing is not acceptable anymore. And
Yeah.
you know,
Like I'm doing the complete opposite. I make myself different from other humans. Like I wear a cloak all day. Like I'm the only person that does that.
I don't think you're being different. I think you're just being yourself. What Melissa was saying about
Yeah.
individuality.
Yeah.
To you, the cloak means something because it's a uniform. For your uniform, not somebody else's uniform.
Yeah.
And you feel that if you wear your uniform that you're not gonna be persuaded to be something else.
Yeah.
That this is mine and it's so it's a way you're being an individual. And you're like, "Oh, people think I'm so weird. Why do you care?" Because they should be doing their thing that makes them look weird to somebody else and be themselves.
Most of the friends that I have, they like me because of
Yeah,
my different personality and the different things that I wear.
of
Like
course they do.
sometimes I'll go wear my whole Soul Reaper outfit with the cloak and the Guy Fawkes mask, and like I scare other people.
Remember Bleach.
And then like I'm always carrying around the sword.
There's
Like
something else.
Ah,
The
and
trading sword.
that's
Alan
cool.
had a big effect on how what the type of food that we eat.
Mm, that
Blue,
changed.
Blue
Yeah.
and I were vegan vegetarians for a very, very long time. You were 13, weren't
I
you?
was 13 when I became a hardcore vegan, and it was 27 years, and it almost killed me.
I was
Almost killed me.
19 when I read a book written by John Robbins of the Baskin Robbins ice cream family,
Mm.
and it was called Diet for a New America. And I regard it now as a vegan propaganda book filled with all the typical lies. But yeah, I was 19. I was convinced that the source of all ill health was just the meat and dairy. So I wholeheartedly went that route for a couple of decades. And when I was sitting up one night watching over Blue and Devin, listening to Alan, he just he mentioned something. I think it was about statin drugs that they were maybe going to
Mm.
debating putting statins in the water. And Alan said, God forbid that you get any cholesterol. And I was like, huh, what did he mean by that? Because I hadn't looked into it yet. Um, I just knew the typical jargon that, oh, cholesterol bad, low cholesterol good. So after looking into nutrition and because also she was very young and we were going to have to start feeding her regular food soon. I was like, I don't want us to make a mistake and like, are we going to like raise her like a vegan? I'm like, I don't know. It seemed a little
Well,
scary,
I
but
wasn't a vegan though before we got pregnant, and so I already hit my health crisis,
yeah.
and I was already a homeopathist. He brought me back. I didn't go to mainstream doctors, and he brought me back from starvation and poor thyroid from the diet.
Mhm.
And it took about 7 years, and my health was back to normal. Then I met you, or I had just, then we got together and became a couple, and then so. And I was telling you, I'm eating salmon and chicken, and you're like, "Oh, I can't even look at it," right? Because he said
I'm like, I don't know what I ate. I don't know what it would be called. It's just like it like fish and rice with
yeah,
yogurt and a lot of spices.
yeah.
It's weird.
She always ate like really well, not like child food, children's food. She ate real food, and her friends can't eat the food she eats because it's like adult food. It's food.
Yeah, and
You
then
don't
like
have children food as junk
and then
food.
sometimes I just go make a mix of like I'm bored and then I get hungry, so I just go make I remember I used to make mixes of just random foods. I would get like yogurt, mix it with rice, and put grapes in it with some really weird spices that should not have gone together,
But
and they taste good. So good. And then
but
like banana and yogurt.
so I was not vegan. I had been
By that time. Yeah.
seven,
Yeah.
8 years, got my health back and I was eating very well and I so when she came along, you were still vegan or trying
I
a
was
little
only
bit?
eating eggs.
Okay.
Um,
Ah,
I wasn't eating any meat yet. Um, yeah, I started
After
eating eggs after
after Alan mentioning that about cholesterol, you then started studying
no, I was
everything.
eating eggs prior to that, but
Okay.
when Alan mentioned the cholesterol, I started looking into things and I was like, we need to start eating red meat, which is always demonized
yeah.
as so bad for you, and
Sorry. Yeah.
it's
Like,
because the red meat is the most potent version of the protein.
uh-huh.
It has the highest amount of nutrition in it. Um,
Yeah.
so that prompted us to go to farmers markets and make contacts with the farmers. So we had year-round sources of
Yeah.
meat and plant products, seasonal plant products.
Hmm.
Um, and we found lots of good sources for buying grain in bulk. Um,
Good material sources of education of real nutrition too, like Weston A. Price.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a listener of Alan's in the UK that
Keep on mark at it.
sent us, the actual magazine that came out quarterly, or the little booklet that came out quarterly, and I used to study that a lot. To me, that really agrees with me in the way that I want to eat.
Yeah.
It just seems common sense. And
I remember when we were talking about this after Alan and stuff, I said, "Well, what did your great or great grandmother eat?" Because we need to go back to that. Great
yeah,
grandpa Joe,
you have to
right?
go 150 years back and look at what everyone around the whole world was eating. What were their cultures or tribes eating? Um, because there was no vitamins, no medicine, so
hmm.
you know,
Enriched. Uh,
food was their sole source of nutrition.
it was their medicine too.
Yeah.
So one thing my great granny said, who she said, she told my uncle, she said, it's not what you eat, it's how you eat it. So that part of myself, that side of my family, they believed in the energies and the kinetics of food. It wasn't really just about the stuff on the plate, but how did it get there? What did it experience? How about the people who picked it? What did they experience? Because they felt that that all ends up on the plate and you
Hmm.
consume that. So she would throw everybody out. Don't talk, don't talk negative around the table. You're poisoning my food. And she said, make them go stand outside.
I think it'd be nice to kind of go stand outside in the dark, especially when it's like maybe snowing, and go eat your food. Actually, sounds kind of relaxing.
It certainly does. Nature's good company.
Yeah, maybe when it's raining or when it's like snowing or something when it's cold.
So do you get to do nature walks and nature hikes? Do you get to get out, or is it pretty much just a lot, your days are working, teaching, cooking? Is it
Yeah, coming here and doing the homesteading. I mean, our own property is a nature walk, and behind us is the outback, so there's nobody back there. So we did the first
We were screamed at by something in a
by
tree.
a bear, maybe. So there's lots and lots of predators here. And so the other night I went out and there were wolves. Just tonight when I was closing up the chickens, there were deer on the. I saw the deer eyes shining.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
what that was?
something's on the ridge.
hmm.
Um,
Are you glad you made the move?
yeah, I am definitely. How? Am I speaking for everyone? What do we think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, definitely.
I didn't really pay attention to what went on during the move. All I remember is like being happy when there was some kind of if there was a crisis going on, even if it was small, like I just stepped on a Lego. I was like always happy about it. It was kind of weird.
You're a happy kid.
And I was extra happy when we moved.
She was. She's like, I'm never going back. Like 1 week we were here, I'm never going back. Because the mountains, it's just very different than being. So we're in unorganized territory.
Mhm.
So you have to pay attention and you have to listen and you have to let the land speak, or the blueberry bushes are going to die. Or there's been so much too, like there's a whole nother story we could talk about with the challenges. There's been so much animal tragedies, and there's a learning curve, and then there's just predation and neighbors' dogs killing our rabbits, and my own dog
It's kind of
killing my
I'm
chickens.
kind of used to the animal
So
tragedies.
there's a lot of like horrible, like we got to get through this now because when you do it with love, then you're open
Mhm.
getting hurt, and that's okay. And you can just do it. So we have a neighbor who's like, nothing has a soul, nothing has a spirit. You just go take whatever you want out of nature. And I would rather live hurting than live spiritually dead like that, or just
Mhm.
emotionally
Mhm.
dead. You know, I feel bad for the fella
Mhm.
because if he believes that about,
Guy's weird.
what does he believe about himself? You know, it must be terrible in being in there for him. So I prefer the hard parts. So the poem you read, right? I prefer facing the shadows with the light.
Mhm.
When I was very young, I thought I'm tired of learning from pain. What's going to happen if I choose to learn from joy? And I actually made that happen for myself, and it took a while, and it was a lot of practice and a lot of mindfulness. Hey, yeah, this pain road
Mhm.
and learn and be creative. It's easy. What if I'm gonna focus on joy and love? What will I also create artistically from and learn from poetically from that? Because you can. And I kept telling myself I could, and I started doing it. It wasn't more powerful than the
Yeah.
pain.
I got I'm pointing over there, but I got a birthday card from one of my childhood friends, actually my movie night friend.
Cool.
And it's a woman at the wheel of a boat,
Mm.
and she's the wooden wheel of a boat. And the inside says, "Let joy be your compass."
Mm.
And I
Mm.
like that. I really like that. That's this, but sometimes I've thought about some of the challenges that I've had and since Alan's gone, and some of those challenges have been really dark and ugly and suffering and disappointments and not I mean and that has nothing to do with the shock and grief and the loneliness of being without him. It's just obstacles. And I had reached a point where I'm like, okay, I'm overcoming this. I'm putting that one behind me. I'm moving on. And this last year I've been thinking that's not enough. It isn't enough to overcome the obstacle or just say, okay, you know, whatever that bad thing is, I'm just not going to let it dominate me. I said, not that's not enough. I've got to have joy. I have to have joy, and nobody's going to take that away from me. That's an
Yep.
internal generated thing, and I'm going to generate it day in and day out for myself in countless little ways.
Exactly. Joy is a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. My uncle says evil has no sense of humor. So make sure you laugh.
Yeah.
Make sure you laugh. And also, yeah, make sure you choose joy. It's there.
Yeah, it is. And all the time, I mean, it's just we're surrounded by things that can make us feel joyful. And we just
Yep.
have to stop and notice it. And
Focus on what's going right,
yeah.
not what's going wrong, because they're both actually happening at the same time. And you can see, yes, this is going wrong. Okay. But so say like for instance, our little dog had major health crisis. Okay, here's we can focus on the pain and focus on what's going on. We took her to the vet. They were there with the papers, pressuring to euthanize. And I said, no, bring her home.
Yeah, I've never felt such rage
That
with
was
a
a
child.
very dark night, right? So he was at the vet. We were here at the homestead because we had to hold down the fort. And he's like crying. She's crying. The vet saying, okay, this is it. She came home and she began to thrive. And it's been almost 4 weeks now, and she's actually getting better. They wouldn't medicate. They just said, well, so I went and got a second opinion. The opinion was similar, which was there's nothing we can do. So here, let's just support her. And she's decided she's not even ready to be sick yet. So she's walking again, and having her issues are there, but there's something in her that's not choosing the issues,
Hmm.
and her body's responding. And we responded with, let's make this a party for her, for us. Let's not focus on, she's not focusing on it. Nothing can be done about it. And something changed. Something keeps changing. And she started eating again. And it's all because we've all even the dog made this choice of, let's not worry about that stuff. All that, the problem that I have and why just sit and focus on the upsetting outcome? Or you can say, I'm here right now.
Hmm.
What makes me joyful and what's loving right now? She did that. And if you just watch, sometimes animals are teachers. And if you just, I kept telling her, I want to be just like you. I want to do what you're doing every day or at the end, but I want to do it. And it needs to be done. What we all should be doing is from your friend.
Hmm.
It's exactly right. That's what the dog is doing. And we chose to do in the situation, and it's improving. And
That's great.
the vets they don't understand it. The vets, we don't get it. We don't understand what's going on. It's the power of what can happen. It doesn't mean it's going to change the outcome eventually, but it changed her right now. It changed us right now, not focusing on it.
Hmm.
And it's now a healthy way of life for her and for us with managing the dog. Instead, this could have gone a different way, and we could
Hmm.
all be sick all the time, and the dog's even sicker. Energy is motion, and it's the universe is there's a spiral. It's too big to go into.
Well, I think we should go into it some other time, but
Yeah,
I've got to get up bright and early tomorrow morning and
and
get
start
right,
the
yeah, like yeah. So, and we should wrap it up and call it a night. But this has been so much fun for me, and I would um I wouldn't worry too much. Devin, she just walked away right when I was gonna say, no, I was gonna say, if
I was putting
people
the
are,
book back
yeah,
on.
I think we got to the point, did we not?
Yeah, the point of why she was going through our history.
Yeah,
Get to the point.
I'm satisfied. The conversation brought me joy.
Same.
So I thank you all for, really, because there was some debate in previous conversations where she just said, I want my privacy. I don't want to be seen by the world. No, thank you.
And that is
And
true. I would like to keep my privacy.
We all would.
yeah.
We all, it's all, but sometimes you have to move outside your comfort zone because it's needed by others. It's needed by yourself, and you don't even
Well,
know
I
it.
really like the way that your mom said it. This is for the tribe.
Yeah.
So,
Because there's so much that I think we're getting quietly
mhm.
from the tribe. from the tribe and yourself continuing Alan's legacy. We're getting so much from it. It's on every day. It's on in the truck. It's on in the kitchen, and so I started reaching out to you and buying certain things.
Yeah, I see.
We love them. And I read all three books. It took like 3 days. And so then it became,
The beautiful where we have to I have to make an advertising moment here. The beautiful flash drives on the shelf behind you that are just gorgeous.
they really are. I got my whole Ethernet hooked up just for these.
Yeah,
Seriously. But so I'm totally excited about Alan's entire body of work. The music. Olivia loves his music. She sits and
that's
listens to his
great.
his
That's
guitar.
great.
And so I think that's why we're here. And
I'm
we
pretty sure that I just was dreaming with my eyes open.
oh, thank you for that. For that. I know this whole podcast has been a dream. You're gonna wake up. But that's why we're doing this. I think that's why we're here. It's a thank you
Well, I
to the
appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
there's
And
more of us out there who are listening
yeah.
and have listened to Alan and appreciate the continuing of the tribe keeping it going.
Yeah.
I got an email from someone the other day, and unfortunately, I haven't had time to respond back. But he said, I really appreciate the podcasts. I always look forward to them because it makes me feel that I'm not alone. And that is just such a good thing, I think, that
And we're
we,
not. We're
yeah,
not
we're
alone.
not.
And
It's,
this is a nice way to watch others not be alone with you alone.
yeah.
And agree.
All right,
There,
I'm gonna say good night, and
there's
I've
one
already told you
there's
if
one
you've
thing
been.
I thought
Oh,
of. So I thought about the word library. If you split it apart, the first half of the word is the word lie.
uh-huh.
I haven't been able to analyze what it means. Maybe you could make sense of it, but I just thought that was interesting.
Well, lie Libris probably has to do, but berry, isn't that interesting? Right?
Yeah,
Roddenberry, and so Libris and berry creates a lie. I don't know.
yeah,
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thought at all. So
yeah.
so we're inspired. But yes.
That's
We're
great.
very grateful. We're very grateful for your continuing and being brave to, like you had to leave your privacy as well to do this, right? And
If
continue Alan's.
yeah, in what she's doing, I don't think I would ever do that because I'm uncomfortable just sharing the amount of privacy currently in this conversation.
Never say never.
Never say never. And because with the right people, with
Yeah.
the right host.
Though,
Oh, listen, I got to tell you that nothing would make me happier at all ever than if I was just in the kitchen in a stair making tea, fish cakes, or French fries, whatever, and being totally behind the scenes. I'd happily ever after. And we just go where life takes us, and we do things out of necessity, and we do things that come from the heart because it feels like it's the right thing to do. I think about Alan would say, oh, people, we got to win. We're going to turn this around, and we're going to, we're going to expose this. And he said, look, there is more than one reason to enter the fight. Winning isn't everything. Sometimes you go in because it's the right thing to do. And you'll reach a place in the road, hopefully not tomorrow, but you reach a place in the road where you say, oh, that thing that makes me really uncomfortable is exactly the thing I need to do right now. And so you go with it.
I think that's where we're at.
I mean, what she was saying about entering the fight, I can understand.
Yeah.
I can understand that, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of what we've done here in a very fun way, but
Yeah.
it's
And it's
you
not
can do it
exactly
with
it's not
love.
exactly about winning the fight.
No,
It's about being a part of the fight.
you're on.
And also in
Yeah,
my mind, there is no winning without honor. If you fight dishonorably, you do not win.
That's right. Good. All right.
It's also about creating, like what Alan said, there's 1,000 different ways that we could all be living, and it's about creating those ways and not getting stuck in their trap of you're gonna live this way.
The way I want to live is
Or
the way I decide. I
that's
don't know
a,
what anybody else does.
your dad has made a really good point there, I think, because and for a reason for talking to people week in and week out too, it's nice that it shows people that they're not alone, that there are like-minded people out there. But it's also exactly what you're saying is that you can show people there's a different way to live. You know, it may not be easy, there may be struggles, we may not be doing it exactly the way we want to right now, but there's different ways that you can live. It doesn't have to be in, the cookie cutter. Well, that's what everybody else does, They go
the
to school.
Joneses.
Yeah.
But most importantly, there's an immediate different way to live inside.
Yes.
Every single person can stand right up, whatever they're doing today out there in the world right now, and say, I'm making a different choice in this moment inside.
Yeah.
Like I can stop thinking this, doing this, creating this, believing this.
Well, this one has come up, but this comes up over and over and over again. But the battle, really, Devin, is inside here. It's
Yeah.
always here. All your victories, all your defeats, you're playing them out inside internally, and then that's what you can
Mostly you're
offer back to the world.
Hmm.
just trying to conquer yourself.
Yeah.
I was at a farmer's market and a guy wandered in my booth and I read his t-shirt and it said, everyone's in a battle that everyone you meet is in a battle that you know nothing about.
Wow. Cool t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a cool t-shirt. Yeah. Yeah, I
And
like
that's
that.
what a lot of what Alan was teaching. All this stuff is going on outside to affect that battle within for every single person.
Yeah.
It's about convincing you that it's not about a battle inside, that the
Well,
battle's outside.
I'm gonna see if I can find something here. Somebody sent me a quote out of Alan's books.
Hmm.
Okay, if I can find it. All right, so this is from Alan's volume 3 of the Cutting Through books. This is the dangerous thing when you're not vigilant, when you don't know what's at stake and
Mm.
you stop fighting, yourself.
Hmm.
We lose that diamond hardness, which can only be maintained by continuous effort, never relaxed for a single instant. That doesn't mean that you're, tense and, freaked out or anything. It's because think about it. I mean, a diamond is beautiful, the facets, they catch light. It's a thing of beauty, and it also can cut,
Mm.
so it's beautiful, but it is hard. And how does it get to be hard and beautiful at the same time? By, what did he say there again? I lost it. By never being continuous effort, never relaxed for a single instant. And that's what he would tell me all the time. It's moment by moment, you know,
Always
you
being aware. Yeah, never
moment
getting
by
complacent.
moment.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, I must go. I must go. Show us one more time your practice sword. I can see it in your hand. I think I can, or I see something nearby you. Yes, it's beautiful. It's very nice.
Carbon? What's that?
I probably should have cleaned it.
No, it's quite nice. It's quite lovely.
She cleans it every night, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though the sword, it's just a plastic training sword, I respect it as if it's a real blade.
That's good.
Is to
That's
respect. If
good.
you respect your sword, you respect yourself. It's not the weapon,
Yeah, and like
it's the warrior.
usually I'll like go to sleep while holding the sword. I don't know what I'm thinking, and then like I wake up and the sword has been like thrown onto the floor or something. Which a couple times I hit the wall in the middle of the night and it woke me up because I was still holding the sword in my sleep, and it's like it hit the wall.
That's dedicated training.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to sharing this with people. I really am. And I thank you so much for leaving your comfort zone and having this conversation. It's great.
Well, thank you for having us and asking us to do it. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure, and it's the right loving energy, comfort zone or not, to support a legacy and a woman and a tribe who are just staying mindful and watching that diamond every day, and making sure not to fall away. And we honor that. And that's why we did this. And I'm okay with doing it again.
Yeah.
Okay, because we need to have a walkabout outdoors so we can
Oh.
see some of that. Well, we're gonna have to figure out how to do walkabout on the land. So.
We'll have to get a Wi-Fi camera, maybe. Well,
Look what a corrupting influence I am. It just doesn't stop.
from 250 different animals and ourselves, may your God or your gods go with you.
I think it actually
Thank
is
you.
250.
I don't think so. I think it's getting out of hand now. It doesn't feel that if it was, I don't think I'd make it through the day. I think we're in the hundreds, like you said.
All right. Well, I appreciate this. This is so much fun. Oh, and then I'll just say to you all that next week is Nick Hayes, A Scanner Darkly. Looking forward to that.
I will
All
enjoy.
right. I'm gonna hit the stop now.
Well, I've got something that the world didn't give me, and the world cannot take it away. And I've got something that the world didn't give me, and the world cannot take it away. Well, it is love, sweet love, oh, sent to me from my father.